We take you back to the future. This is the German Touring Car Masters 2000. Hello everyone, welcome to the Nürburgring in the Eifel Mountains of Germany for the 7th race weekend in the German Touring Car Masters. The Drivers' Championship could be decided today on a foggy, cold day in the Eifel Mountains. Before we get to the racing, let's take a look at one of the top German drivers in the series. He's known as one of the toughest drivers in the series. The words "give up" aren't in his vocabulary. He has total control of his car. His talent is unquestioned. Uwe Alsen has everything needed to become a champion. But this has been a tough season. Did not finish his technical problems, and he's had a hard time becoming one with the car. It's made it a long season so far. Uwe Alsen is professional enough to know that disappointments belong in his profession as much to the wins and successes, and he's had plenty of both. He's driven a Porsche in the Carrera Cup, the Super Cup, and the GT Cup. He was the best independent driver in the German Touring Car Championship. He just missed a win at Le Mans. In 1996, he had 8 wins for Opel and was on the podium 25 times. He lost the Super Touring Car Championship last year after a boardroom decision took it away from him after the season was over. He doesn't have a chance for the title this year, but he hasn't given up. As he proved in Oschersleben, he still knows how to win. He kept points leader Bernd Schneider behind him all the way to take the first race at Oschersleben. Who knows? Maybe he'll be able to celebrate again here at the Nürburgring. This is the Grand Prix circuit at the Nürburgring, 2.83 miles long. They'll run 22 laps per race. It covers about 62 miles. 20 cars are entered. A good crowd on hand considering it's very cold and there is a heavy fog. Parts of the track are in fog. Other parts of it seem to be clear. Whether the fog will clear up, that is the major question. The cars heading out on the warm-up lap. It's really come down to a battle between 3 men, one of whom is up front. Winkelhock is on the pole, but he isn't in the championship, but Manuel Reuter is. He's second in the points. Bernd Schneider is the man leading the points. He needs 22 points today to take the championship. Uwe Alsen is next to him, then 2 rookies in Marcel Thiemann and Marcel Fessler. Fessler's had a great season so far this year. Christian Menzel and Michel Bartels, 2 Opel drivers who hope to get up front to maybe be able to help Reuter. We'll talk about the team, but look at this. The Audi of Laurent Aiello, the best position they've had this season. And Aiello's the man that's brought the car forward. Eric Ellery and Pedro Lamy. And the field heads back to complete it up with Peter Dumbreck, and then come the rest of the apt Audis. And behind them, Modena and Scheider. Scheider, the 21-year-old sensation, having a great season. Klaus Ludwig, the veteran, who is in the points race, had a bad qualifying, starts in 17th position. Chris Nissen is next to him. Then comes Jason Thompson and Darren Turner. We'll talk more about the Turner start in just one moment. It's a brave crowd as the cars head toward the start-finish line, and it's Winkelhock on the left, Reuter on the right, and Winkelhock gets a great jump to start the race here at the Nürburgring. 2 races make up a race weekend in the German Touring Car Masters. Heading into the right-hander, the cars sorting themselves out well. Winkelhock gets the lead, then comes Manuel Reuter, followed by Uwe Alsen, and then Bernd Schneider. And this is the battle right here. The second-place car, Manuel Reuter, has to stay in front of Bernd Schneider if he wants a chance at the title. In fact, Reuter really needs to win both races here and keep Schneider far enough behind him to be able to put up the points. Jochen Winkelhock, who is out in the lead in another Opel, certainly will hold the lead, but it's not his position to win here. There will probably be a team order, which means that the Opel crew will want their top points getter up front, and that's Manuel Reuter. Now, whether Bernd Schneider is going to get any kind of protection himself is another question. Look at Laurent Aiello. Aiello continues to put pressure on. He wants to move up. What a great start for the Frenchman. He's had a tough season as Audi has tried to put together this car that's a little bit too small and not able to be competitive. And now all of a sudden, Laurent Aiello has put the Audis up in the top 10. Best qualifying so far. They were already happy before the start of the race. Now what they've got to do is to see if they can get a little bit further along. And here comes Aiello. He's going to get by Marcel Timon heading into the very tight chicane at the end of the first lap. So the Audi has moved up a position. And all the Audi fans who have been very faithful to the crew certainly have to be happy right now. This is the battle back in the pack, but up front, this is the key. Jochen Winkelhock is your leader. He has 1 victory to his credit this season, but he's down in the points race. In fact, he's in 5th place. He is basically out of the championship. Behind him is another Opel driver, Manuel Reuter. Reuter is tied with Klaus Ludwig in 2nd place in the points race. The trick for the Opels is to get Reuter as far to the front as they can and keep Schneider as far back as they can. And right now, Uwe Alsen running 3rd in that black and red Opel gives there a little bit of room to Manuel Reuter. But the question is, how well will Schneider be able to handle the pressure? And Menzel was bumped just a little bit. Christian Menzel was bumped, and part of the car is having a problem. You can see smoke coming off the tire. Thomas Jaeger is the driver that bumped him, it looks like. And Eric Ellery pulls by, and Menzel in the Opel, the Irmscher car, really slowing down. The tire obviously causing him problems. He's going to have to go to the pits. The fog has not let up whatsoever. The lower in the track they go, the more fog. The higher up they go, the less fog, at least at this point. And Marcel Timon has lost the front part of his car. Marcel Timon driving without a hood here. Winkelhock brings them across, out in front. Bernd Schneider is putting pressure on Uwe Alsen. Basically, it's Alsen's job to do his best to keep Schneider behind him. Schneider needs 22 points in both races to ensure himself of the title. A victory in the first race just about does it. In fact, will do it. Here comes Christian Menzel, the young Opel driver. Works right here at the Nürburgring in a safety testing area when he's not racing. Going to work on the car. You can see the fog rolling in. There you get a look at Marcel Timon's new aerodynamics. No hood, that makes it tough. But you get a great view of the motor, don't you? Timon's had an up and down season so far this year. Probably not what he had expected. Jochen Winkelhock, who's out in front, is also not having quite the year he would have liked to have had. But you never know. He did win at the Nürburgring, then lost it on a pit stop in the second race. But he has stayed in the competition. He's had a couple of did-not-finish weekends, which were the ones that hurt him badly. At the Sachsenring, he didn't finish the first race. That pretty much took him out of the championship, and then that was sealed in Oschersleben in the big crash at the beginning. And this is Modena. Stefano Modena's Opel is off the course. Modena's had a difficult time with the Euro team, and Who was responsible, don't know, except that Modena knows he's off the course. He's had a difficult year. And this one's going to be even worse from the way that back right tire looks. We're going to have to try to tow him back and get him repaired for the second race. Winkelhock, Reuter, Alsen, Schneider. That's the group that counts right now, the top four. You can see the fog not abating at all. The Eifel Mountains, known for their unforgiving weather. It can rain one moment, the sun can shine. And even back in May, not this year, but in previous years, it's even snowed. But right now, it's the fog and the cold weather. The track is a little damp. It is not wet. Winkelhock, a master of touring cars, as is Reuter. Uwe Alsen, another of the tour car superstars, but he's also one that's very, very hard to pass. He is also not afraid to keep you behind him. He also is not afraid to let you know he wants to get by. And everyone knows that. So it'll be interesting to see if he can keep Schneider behind him and if Schneider can find a way to get by him. Although, if Schneider were to finish fourth twice, he'd still be able to pick up the needed points that he wants to take the championship if Reuter stays behind Winkelhock. A lot of ifs there, aren't there? Meanwhile, Jochen Winkelhock just continues to put the laps behind him. Reuter running second. The real question is going to be not so much at this point in the race, although Schneider gives Uwe Alsen a look to let him know he's there. But the Mercedes in all the races so far has started off relatively slow in comparison to the Opels, which do have more power on the straightaway. But then toward the end of each race, the Mercedes seems to get stronger or the Opels get weaker. Schneider is known for being able to handle his tires. Now, all the tires are the same on these cars. Everyone uses the same tire. And it seems Schneider has the best grasp of how to use those tires. And right now, he seems to be biding his time. He's a very patient driver, very tactical driver, and a very fast one. But he has 3 Opels ahead of him, and no help really behind him. He's on his own. Here you can see some of the rough parts of the track as the Mercedes bounces its way through the corner. Schneider is starting to put a little bit more pressure on Uwe Alsen. He stayed right with him all the way. As Schneider's car started to pick up again, as Mercedes has been able to do throughout the season, or is he still just biding his time, waiting to see what he gets? You get 20 points for a win, 15 points for second place, 12 points for third place, and 10 points for fourth place. So if you do a little bit of math, you can see if they finish this way, then Schneider's almost there to the title. But we got a long way to go here in the first race of the day in the German Touring Car Masters at the Grand Prix course at the Nürburgring in Germany. The Eifel Mountains playing their part in the championship with this heavy fog, and it just continues to roll in. There's Michel Bartels. And right behind Bartels is Laurent Aiello. Aiello is not letting up. This man was a champion in the Super Touring cars. The Frenchman, a very friendly man, but also a very tough competitor, has had a hard season as the Audi crew have tried to develop the car to make it competitive, and now Aiello is right up in the top 10. What a great day for the App Sportsline Audi team. And Reuter is by Winkelhock. Manuel Reuter has passed Jochen Winkelhock. So this was most likely a team situation because they know that Reuter has to get out in front and has to win. So if Reuter can pick up the 20 points for a win, he can still hold off Bernd Schneider. Yeah, it was a case where Winkelhock simply pulled over, let Reuter by. And now Manuel Reuter has got to try to put as much distance between himself and Bernd Schneider as he possibly can. And he has to hope that Winkelhock and Alsen, who are right behind him, can hold off Bernd Schneider and keep him back in fourth position. If they finish this way, then Schneider in 2 races, they have one more race to go, then It'll come down to the last race weekend of the season at Hockenheim. But that's still down the road a ways. So there are your top 4. They're the most important right now. But it looks like Marcel Fessler is running back in 5th position. The young Swiss driver has had a wonderful season. It's one of those seasons that other drivers can only dream about in their first year of touring cars, particularly when you got so many veterans in the field, as you see in this quartet right here. And for Fessler to be that strong is really quite an accomplishment. In fact, he let everybody know he was going to be there when he finished second twice in the first race weekend of the season at Hockenheim. And there in the black Mercedes with the red mirrors is Klaus Ludwig. He turned 51 this week. And he was tied for second in the points race, but he qualified only 17th. Disappointed himself terribly. He and his son Luca simply disappeared after qualifying, went up to his hunting lodge, which is up here in the mountains of the Eifel, and got away. And so far, he really has not moved up that far. He has to get points if he wants to stay in the championship, but right now, the championship is coming down to 2 men if Klaus Ludwig can't move up. But you get a look at him right there. He's the most successful driver in German touring car history. He's been a touring car champion, a German touring car championship. He's done just about everything. And Bernd Schneider now is pulling up and getting by Uwe Alsen. Schneider on the left of your screen. You cannot see Alsen. You only see him a little bit there. Now, is Alsen going to let him by? He does. Bernd Schneider has moved into 3rd place. So now he's in the 12-point range. Meanwhile, Reuter continues to lead. Jochen Winkelhock, is running in 2nd place. And then comes Bernd Schneider. The question's going to be, how far can Schneider come? Now, as we've said, all through the season, toward the end of each race, the Mercedes seems to get stronger, the Opel seems to back off, because it's a case of Schneider knowing how to use his tires. The Dunlops are all the same for everybody, but Schneider seems to get the best use out of them. But he's got 2 veterans ahead of him. 2 of the best of the race in Europe as far as touring cars are concerned. And Manuel Reuter at 38 has won just about everything you can win in hardtops. Schneider too. And Winkelhock has won his share. And Winkelhock loses a little bit. Can Schneider take advantage? Reuter continues to pull away. Winkelhock certainly was slowed down by this one. Schneider wanted to come in underneath and couldn't do it as they come out of the fog. They come up a hill into a left-hander. Schneider won't be able to pass until they get through this segment. Then they head out onto the fastest part of the course. And when they do that, then it's a question of, can he get a slipstream and get by? Volker Stritzik, the Opel team chief. Here comes Schneider. Not quite. Not quite. They go through the bend in the long straightaway. Now, if he wants to slipstream, he may be able to do it going to the inside, into the chicane. Not enough room. Winkelhock will lead through the chicane. You get the feeling he wants to get by him, and that right now his car is probably running a little better than Winkelhock's. Uwe Alsen running in 4th place. Marcel Fessler in the Mercedes running in 5th position. Fessler, the first of the young rookies who have made such a name for themselves. Here comes Bernd Schneider, and he gets by Winkelhock. And here comes Uwe Alsen. Alsen wants to get by Winkelhock. And he does. They'll head back down the hill. And Marcel Fessler in a Mercedes has moved up behind Winkelhock. Now comes the battle. Or will it be? Will Schneider be happy to sit back in this first race, pick up the 15 points, and then know he only has to repeat it in the second race and the championship is his? Actually, he doesn't even have to do that if he stayed in 2nd place. Remember, he has to have 22 points total. If he finishes in 2nd place, he gets 15. Need just 7 in the second race if he stays there. Clean pass by Schneider. Winkelhock moved over and didn't try to bump or anything to stop him from getting by. So now the 2 men going for the championship, and Schneider wanted to get inside and couldn't do it. And the fog continues to roll in. Schneider right up on the back bumper of Manuel Reuter. Two of the veterans in the series. Reuter 38, Schneider 36. Both very successful in touring cars. Who is going to be able to outsmart whom? Reuter certainly knows how to make that Opel as wide as he possibly can on the track so that Schneider has the most difficult time possible to try to get by him. Coming out of the fog, which is getting worse. Heading toward the right-left combination after the front straightaway. Reuter gets an advantage. The Opels are a little faster than the Mercedes on the straightaways. We're in the next to last race weekend. It's the first race of two here at the Nürburgring today. And right now, the fans that have come are watching a possible championship being decided in the very first race. If Schneider passes him, he's got the title. If he stays behind him, he'll have to finish in the top 4, or 5 actually, in the second race to take the title. Schneider will keep the pressure on Manuel Reuter as much as he can. And Winkelhock has fallen back into 5th position. Fessler has gotten by him. The young Swiss driver, 24 years old, certainly has made a name for himself already in this first of the German Touring Car Masters seasons. He's mixed it with the veterans and he stays right up there. Meanwhile, up in front, more veterans continue to battle. It's Reuter out in front in the yellow and white Opel, followed by the gray Mercedes of Bernd Schneider, and right behind them, Uwe Alsen. Now, Schneider probably has a little bit of a quicker car in the corners, and Reuter may be a little quicker on the straight, but it actually is probably slowing down Schneider just a little bit because he uses his tires better. This means that Uwe Alsen, who is not quite as fast as they are, has been able to close up because the other two are a little bit slower. There you see the black Marcel Fessler car followed by Jochen Winkelhock. But all attention right now is on these top two. Bernd Schneider has been on the bumper of Manuel Reuter for the past several laps. Good look going through the tight chicane. Actually, there are two chicanes here, one for the Grand Prix cars and one for everybody else. Grand Prix car chicane is very tight. This one here not quite as tight, and they can use the curbs. Lower part of the course, they head uphill. The fog continues to roll in. And Reuter has lost the lights on the front of his car. Must have an electrical problem somewhere. You really have to hope that it's not a major problem that will slow him down at all. It's a great race between these two as the Mercedes staff watches intently here to see if Bernd Schneider is going to be able to come in at least in second place or maybe take the title by passing Reuter. Right now, he's stayed right on the bumper of Reuter. He has not made a big move to get by him. In fact, he's given him a little bit of room here. Uwe Alsen, meanwhile, pulls up on the back bumper of Bernd Schneider. So Schneider has an Opel behind him and an Opel in front of him, but the most important one, of course, is in front of him. Alsen doesn't seem to be able to get up there in order to be able to pass Schneider. Schneider does not have enough room to slipstream out and go into the corner past Reuter. So once again, the Opel speed down the straight has held off the Mercedes of Bernd Schneider. And Manuel Reuter continues to lead. Bartels 6th, Jaeger, another of the rookies, running 7th. Pedro Lamy, then Aiello, look at that. He's in 9th position. He's in the points. Be the best finish for an Audi if he can hold that position. The top 4 remain tight. And Eric Ellery loses control. Nobody was near him. And Ellery goes off the course in his Opel. The Frenchman having his share of bad luck this season. And Schneider definitely has backed off a little bit. He's not running up right on the bumper of Reuter. He's keeping some of the pressure on, but right now he may be content to say, okay, I'll take the 15 points for second place. And then he just has to finish in the top 5 to take the title in the second race. And the fog gets thicker. The electrical problem, whatever it may be, that took Manuel Reuter's lights out, evidently is not affecting the car in any other way. One of the most scenic points for photographers right there in the chicane. Jochen Winkelhock, the man that had the pole and led the first 9 laps, running in 5th position right now. We're now down to the last moments of this first race. Bernd Schneider seems to be content with holding on to second place. Uwe Alsen does not have enough to pull up and take it away from him. And as they come out of the fog, no changes in the top 5. Incidentally, Ludwig is running way back in 12th position. So Klaus Ludwig, who was tied with Reuter coming into this race for second place in the points and had a chance for the title, is now out of the title chase if he stays in 12th position. If it stays as it is now, it comes down to Manuel Reuter and Bernd Schneider. And Schneider definitely has backed off. Bernd Schneider has backed off, is settling in for second place. Reuter will now pick up his 3rd victory of the season. He won the 2 races in Oschersleben way back at the beginning of the year. He did very well at Hockenheim, but his bad luck hit the second race at Hockenheim when he was penalized because of some rough driving, and he did not finish in the points in that race. And then he had 2 non-points races also at the Sachsenring, and those were the ones that sitting pretty much behind Bernd Schneider. And Manuel Reuter has won the first race. Bernd Schneider is second. So now the championship comes down to the second race of the day here in the German Touring Car Masters at the Nürburgring Grand Prix course in the Eifel Mountains. You have to really feel for these fans. These are the true fans. It's cold and foggy as the drivers go around to wave to the fans. The Opel crew very happy. And there you have it. Thomas Jaeger, the rookie, coming in 7th. Fessler, the best rookie, in 4th. Pedro Lamy from Portugal running in 8th. And Laurent Aiello gives Audi its best finish this season so far, coming in 9th position. There is Modena's car. They finally have brought it in. They'll get to work on it between races, but it doesn't look like they may get that one ready in order to have it come out again. The crews have just so much time, about 10 minutes, to get the car ready for the second race, if they can. If a car is not ready, but they can get it ready before the cars are on the pace lap, it'll start from pit lane. But right now, the Opel of Stefano Modena does not look like it's in good condition. These folks are holding in there as we get ready for the second race of the day in the German Touring Car Masters here at the Grand Prix course at the Nürburgring. And the fog has gotten worse. The fans will do anything to make it interesting. Reuter on the pole, Schneider on the outside pole. Reuter has to beat him to stay in the championship till it all. Uwe Alsen in Opel, then comes Marcel Fessler in the Mercedes. Winkelhock and Michel Bartels, 2 Opels in the next row. Thomas Jaeger and Pedro Lamy, 2 young drivers making a name for themselves, already hoping that they can come up with these rides again next season. Laurent Aiello, the best finish for an Audi, coming in 9th. Has to be a happy man. Peter Dumbreck next to him. Then comes Timo Schneider and Klaus Ludwig, a disappointing 12th, took himself out of the championship tilt. Darren Turner in the back. Turner, incidentally, made note because he became the first driver to be set back at the end of a field because of a motor being dropped. As we're underway in the second race, wait till they come out of the fog and I'll tell you who's out in front. Here they come, and it's Manuel Reuter with Schneider next to him, and Uwe Alsen's making things difficult here as they head through. And Timo Scheider has spun. The 21-year-old rookie has spun as the cars sort themselves out here in the heavy fog at the Grand Prix course at the Nürburgring in the Eifel Mountains. Reuter has his electrical system back and his headlights on once again. Bernd Schneider, right on his back bumper, would like to get by and get a chance to get away, but he's still sitting in second place. As you can tell from watching that first race to this one, the fog just continues to roll here in the Eifel Mountains. Uwe Alsen is running in third place. Fessler is in fourth. And look at this. Laurent Aiello got a great start and is up in fifth position. The Audi is in fifth position. What a great start for the Frenchman. Thomas Jaeger is behind him. Then comes Bartels. Reuter in front of Schneider. In the points race, Schneider just needs 7 points to win the title in the first year of the German Touring Car Masters. That means he has to finish in the top 5 in order to be able to take the title. But those who know Schneider know he goes for the win. And right now he's sitting in second place behind the man who still has a mathematical chance at the title if something should happen to Schneider here in the second race. Coming out of the fog once again. This is difficult. If you're wondering why we don't have the onboard cameras for this race, it's very simple. The helicopter that we need to be able to send the pictures back down to Earth can't go up in this weather. The fog is just too bad. But you can imagine how difficult it must be coming like in a clear spot here and then heading down into the fog. Very, very difficult. Taking another look at Timo Schneider, he got bumped a little bit there by Klaus Ludwig. But under these conditions, and the track being damp, looks like a normal race accident. The leaders remain the same, and look at Laurent Aiello. He's got that Audi wound up. The last of the Audis running in the back of the pack. But it's Laurent Aiello that's carrying the Audi colors here at the Nürburgring. What a great day for him. Winkelhock got a miserable start. He's way back in the pack. Back in about 9th position. He finished 5th. Terrible start. Uwe Alsen trying to get inside Bernd Schneider. And everybody holds their breath. Quite frankly, Uwe Alsen does not worry about bending metal. He's not a dirty driver, but he also will get by you any way he can within limits. So everyone is holding their breath every time that Uwe tries to make the move on Bernd Schneider. And Schneider does not seem to be going as quick as he was before because Reuter is putting some distance between himself and Schneider. Uwe Alsen needs to get by Schneider to keep pushing him back. And Alsen knows it. But Alsen has a Mercedes right behind him. So the teamwork between Mercedes and Opel drivers is very evident here. Meanwhile, Laurent Aiello continues to smile. There's Schneider. He got bumped by Ludwig. But as we said, under these conditions, it looks like a normal race accident. We'll see. Wait till they come out of the fog once again. Reuter, your leader. Schneider. And Eric Ellery once again off the course. The Frenchman has just had a tough day here at the Nürburgring. Heading down toward the 180. Back in the back of the pack, Klaus Ludwig again. The winningest driver in German touring car history. 3 touring car championships. He's won at Le Mans. He's won just about everything you can imagine with the hardtops. But now there's a new generation, and this group right here, Reuter at 38, Schneider 36, Hans-Werner Aufrecht, the man that puts together the cars for Mercedes, intently watching to see what happens here. The title is on the line. You've got the top 5 cars. 2 of them are Opels. 3 of them are Mercedes. And here comes Uwe Alsen trying to get inside Bernd Schneider. They get in there. They bump. Schneider holds on. Alsen gets inside, and Bernd Schneider holds on and drops back one position. Schneider now is running in 5th place. This is where he'd have to finish if he wants to take the title here. Uwe Alsen got inside, and look at Alsen's car. Smoke coming out of the left front tire where he obviously bumped with Bernd Schneider. Here they go into the corner. There was room. Alsen gets inside, hits the curb, and then bumps into Schneider, who keeps control of the car. It goes off the course, but not totally into the grass. He keeps a couple of wheels on the asphalt, holds on to at least 5th position. Meanwhile, Klaus Ludwig gets inside of Pedro Lamy, but it's Ludwig that spins, and so did Lamy. What a disappointing day for the 51-year-old Klaus Ludwig. Ludwig with 2 victories this season, but right now his championship hopes are gone. There is Marcel Fessler. Fessler is running in 2nd position, and Thomas Jaeger is 3rd. Uwe Alsen is 4th, and Bernd Schneider is 5th. For Opel, it's almost there. Someone is going to have to hope to get by Bernd Schneider, but right now there are no Opels in contention to move him back to 6th position if they can. And you know Schneider won't give up, but you can see the damage that was done to Uwe Alsen's car. Laurent Aiello still in the top 10, running in 6th position. And the smoke continues to come off Uwe Alsen's left front tire. And Bernd Schneider is closing in on Uwe Alsen. Schneider only needs to finish 5th. And right now, I don't think the Audi's going to have enough to challenge Bernd Schneider to move him back one. They're going to be happy they're in the top 10. Manuel Reuter has some breathing room. He is way out in front of the 2 Mercedes that are trying to chase him down. Fessler and Jaeger, 2 of the rookies, running 2nd and 3rd. Uwe Alsen, 33-year-old German driver, running in 4th position. And the champ to be, the champ who wants to be, I should say, Bernd Schneider, moving up on Uwe Alsen. Schneider wants to get by. Everyone will hold their breath again. You don't know what's going to happen when Uwe Alsen's involved in a situation like this where all the marbles are on the line. Jochen Winkelhock running back in the pack after taking the pole position, leading the first part of the first race, and then gave way to Manuel Reuter, so Reuter could pick up the points to stay in the points race in the German Touring Car Masters. Next to last race weekend in the series. The next stop will be the Grand Prix course in Hockenheim. Coming out of the fog, these are the cars back in the pack just a little ways. Peter Dumbreck, Christian Menzel. But up front, Manuel Reuter with some breathing room. And back there in 4th and 5th, you saw them for just a moment, Bernd Schneider and Uwe Alsen. You know the Mercedes crew simply holding their breath if Schneider tries to make the move on Uwe Alsen. The fog has not abated. It is still as thick as it was when they started this second race, which is much worse than it was when they ran the first race. Marcel Fessler running in 2nd place. He has 2 second-place finishes. Here comes Schneider inside of Alsen. No problem. Schneider's by. So Bernd Schneider has moved into 4th position. More than enough he'll need if he can stay there. The first German Touring Car Masters Championship will be his, with still a race weekend to go. What a great performance by Bernd Schneider. Schneider has certainly been tough this season. He has 8 fastest laps, if you can believe that, in the races. The fastest lap in the first race was Uwe Alsen. Schneider can tend to gain points here. He's dominated in just about every category. He has 6 victories. Reuter now has 3. He has the most fastest laps. He's the most consistent driver in the field. It's amazing his performance this year. One time he was out of the points. Schneider is the only driver to finish in the top 5 in all but one of the races. No drivers finished in the top 10 in all 12 races, but 2 have finished in all but one of the top 10s. And that again is Bernd Schneider. Klaus Ludwig had been with him in that category, but Ludwig dropped out of that when he finished 12th in the first race. Meanwhile, Manuel Reuter continues to roll. But actually, he's helpless. He cannot control what happens to Bernd Schneider. All he can do is stay up in front and hope that something either happens to Bernd Schneider's car or that Schneider is passed by 2 more cars to put him back in the 6th position, which would mean that they would go down to the final race at Hockenheim. Right now, Schneider is running in 4th, 1 position more than he needs for this championship. Christian Abt running in 13th. That's also a good performance for the Audi crew. Pedro Lamy, who had been coming on very strong, the Portuguese driver in the Mercedes team prepared by the Rosberg Racing Group, had been coming on very strong in the last couple of races, but here he's had his problems. Here's another look at that pass as Uwe Alsen bumps Bernd Schneider, and then Alsen goes by. But then Schneider came back to pass him again, and there's Bernd Schneider. Manuel Reuter, all he can do is keep the car out in front, hope that he picks up his 4th victory. He certainly will keep Opel's name up in front of everyone, but Mercedes has been the dominant force. And one of the reasons is that Mercedes had their car finished long before Opel did. They were able to get many more test laps in than Opel was able to do, and therefore Mercedes was so strong and has been strong throughout the entire season. There is Laurent Aiello with Jochen Winkelhock right behind him. This is the battle for 6th and 7th position. Christian Menzel. Then comes Dumbrug, but there's your battle again for 6th and 7th. Aiello and Winkelhock. You have to wonder how Aiello must feel after so many disappointing races at the beginning of the year. Here comes Winkelhock. He goes right by him. The Opel with just too much power. But the Audi is running very strong here. Aiello missed one race weekend because he and Christian Abt went to Le Mans to race. Otherwise, he's worked diligently to get that car to the front. Running in 7th position. Still the best finish for an Audi this year. The 9th place finish he had in the first race was the best. He can top it now if he can hold on to that 7th place position. Uwe Alsen's problem seems to have taken care of itself. The tire has not gone down. He continues to run, but he has dropped behind Bernd Schneider. Jochen Winkelhock, the Charger, trying to make up for what was a disappointing start here in the second race after finishing 5th in the first race. The fog is just unbelievable. You have to take your hats off to the fans who've shown up for the racing today. It is cold, and the fog just adds to it. The man that's controlled it so far, though, goes right underneath your screen there. But this is the man that has the title on the line, Bernd Schneider. Manuel Reuter leads the race. Schneider is leading toward a championship, running in 4th position. And Uwe Alsen does not seem to be able to challenge anymore. Winkelhock would like to move up. If Winkelhock and Alsen, if you wanted to put a lot of ifs together here, if Alsen and Winkelhock could get by Bernd Schneider and push him back 2 slots, then the championship will go down to the wire at Hockenheim. But at this point, Alsen cannot seem to close in, and Winkelhock's charge does not seem to continue to bring him forward. He's sort of leveled off. Manuel Reuter, meanwhile, has a wonderful lead, looking for his 4th victory this season in the German Touring Car Masters, and right now no one is pushing him hard. Schneider, I don't really believe, is worried about that 7 seconds as much as he is holding on to the 4th position. But for Fessler and Jaeger, what a great performance as everyone starts to think about next year and who's going to be driving what for whom. The two rookies putting on a great performance here at the Grand Prix course at the Nürburgring. And Bernd Schneider continues to roll, and he does have a little bit more breathing room between himself and Uwe Alsen running in 5th position. The two Opels either get by Schneider or Schneider takes the title. That's what it's come down to. And Schneider has been fast. Schneider has been consistent this season. Very few people have been able to match him. He had the one race where he went off the track at Oschersleben. That was the second one and didn't finish in the points. Other than that, Schneider has been the man of consistency. Truly an amazing season. At Hockenheim, he won the 2 races. At Oschersleben, he was 3rd and 12th. At the Nürburgring, he finished 4th in the first race and came back to win the second race. At the Sachsenring, he was 3rd twice after a bad starting position back in the 11th. At the Nürburgring's first race weekend here, earlier this season, he took the 2 races here. Then at Oschersleben, when they returned there for the second race weekend, Schneider finished 2nd and 1st. He finished 2nd here at the Nürburgring in the first race. It can't get much better than that. Manuel Reuter continues to put the laps down. It's amazing his performance here. Just 2 races where he finished out of the points made it difficult for him to hold on to any sort of championship aspirations. Fessler, Jaeger's come a long way. He started off very slowly and then came a long way. He's the teammate of Bernd Schneider. If Schneider were to pull up closer to Jaeger most likely will let him by to guarantee points for Schneider. Today's race is as much an individual performance as it is a team performance. Mercedes against Opel. Basically, the Mercedes drivers making sure that Schneider has his chance for the title. The Opel drivers trying to put as much space between themselves and him so that they can keep him behind them, but right now they are not succeeding. The only Opel that's truly succeeding is this man here, Manuel Reuter. Reuter has dominated and continues to dominate here. He had a 3rd and 13th at Hockenheim. He won the 2 races at Oschersleben. He was 3rd and 2nd at the Nürburgring, 13th and 11th at the Sachsenring. Those were the ones that took him out of it. At the Nürburgring first time here, he was 5th twice. At Oschersleben, he finished 3rd and 2nd. He won the first race here. He's right up there in consistency. He just had those 2 difficult races. He had finished actually in the top 5 at Hockenheim in the first race weekend, but then was bumped back with a 10-second penalty due to some rough driving, and he takes the checkered flag here in the second race of the day at the German Touring Car Masters at the Nürburgring. Manuel Reuter is your winner. But the real winner today is Bernd Schneider. Hans-Werner Aufrecht, a very happy man. The Mercedes crew happy as their man has come in 4th, and Bernd Schneider has won the German Touring Car Masters title. It was his goal when he started, and now he did it. And look at that, Laurent Aiello in 7th position, the best finish for an Audi this season. So they really can be happy. And it's champagne time here at the Nürburgring. The 2 young drivers, along with Manuel Reuter. There are your points. Bernd Schneider, your champion, with 206. Manuel Reuter running 2nd. So it was a great day for Bernd Schneider as well as for Manuel Reuter. But there is the new champion of the German Touring Car Masters. A great performance by the veteran Bernd Schneider.
I'm really happy to get the championship already here, because Hockenheim has been a place in the past where I was not so lucky, and I can go now really relaxed to Hockenheim, and we have a great party here at the Nürburgring.
What was the second race for you?
Second race was actually really tough. I started in used tires because the surface was quite slippery in the beginning, and we thought it's better if we start with used ones. But when we start the race, it was already dry, and I had a little bit disadvantage in the first couple of laps. And then I had a little problem with Uwe Arzen, but okay, I finished fourth and I got the championship. This was the main target.
And so that does it for our coverage of the German Touring Car Masters here at the Nürburgring. The next stop on the tour, Hockenheim. We'll see you then.